This is the new iPhone Air from Apple, and let me start by saying that the thinnest iPhone ever is not for everyone. On paper, it lacks a handful of features compared to the rest of the iPhone 17 lineup, such as an ultra-wide camera, longer battery life, and physical SIM support. But I really like this phone, and I don't think words can describe the feeling of when you first pick it up, and it just feels unreal. My brain couldn't register that this is an actual finished product and not like a dummy phone with nothing on the inside. This is a really special release from Apple, and I can't wait to tell you more about it. Let's start with the design. At just 5.6mm thin and weighing only 165 grams, the iPhone Air feels like nothing in the hand. It's actually thinner than Apple's MagSafe wallet. That's crazy. But despite its impossible dimensions, the iPhone Air is still extremely solid thanks to a titanium grade 5 frame and ceramic shield glass on both sides. At the front, you have a 6.5-inch Super Retina XDR OLED display with ProMotion. So yes, that means you can get a dynamic refresh rate of up to 120Hz. Besides that, the display also supports HDR, True Tone, and goes up to 3000 nits of peak brightness. Safe to say, consuming content on this display will be an absolute joy no matter where you are. Moving to the inside, the iPhone Air is powered by the new A19 SoC alongside the also new C1X modem and N1 wireless chip, which brings Wi-Fi 7, Bluetooth 6, and even Thread support for smart home devices. So how does all of this translate to real-world performance? Pretty smooth, I must say. Apps open instantly, multitasking is seamless, and animations are fluid thanks to the ProMotion display. I faced no hiccups during my time with the iPhone Air, and that includes even playing some heavy games such as PUBG Mobile. The phone did get a little warmer towards the camera plateau, which houses most of the brains of the iPhone Air, but it was still manageable. Although I must say that the iPhone Air being so light made it a bit weird to game at the start because I felt like I was holding nothing. But as you can see, the iPhone Air is actually a very capable device despite its size. But there is one concern with this form factor, and that's the battery life. Inside you have a 3149 mAh battery that will get you around 27 hours of video playback and can be fast charged to 50% in just 30 minutes. In real world usage, I can get through a full day most of the time, and that's with taking the phone off the charger at 9 AM and going through a full day of social media scrolling, some videos, a few calls, and such. For those days, I'll end the day in the evening with roughly 20% of battery life, which I think is great. But if I'm going hard on the iPhone Air on that day or doing a few rounds of PUBG Mobile, then the battery will not last. And that's where the iPhone Air MagSafe battery comes into the picture. With a capacity of 3149 mAh, which by the way is the same as the internal battery of the iPhone Air, you can extend the battery life up to 65%, allowing you to easily hit all-day heavy usage. And if you're wondering why only 65% when it's the exact same capacity as the iPhone Air internal battery, well, that's just the inefficiency of wireless charging. So while we're on the topic of accessories, let me quickly touch on two of my favorite accessories, starting with the bumper case. Apple does sell the traditional cases, but for me, you have to either use the iPhone Air without anything or at most just the bumper case. A fully covered case on the iPhone Air just takes away the form factor and lightness of the phone. The bumper case adds just the right amount of protection without compromising on the overall concept of the iPhone Air. The next accessory is the crossbody strap. I don't use it all the time, but there are certain days where this strap comes in so clutch because I have my iPhone Air at an arm's reach all the time. The build quality is also top notch. You can really feel it in the strap material that has embedded magnets so it always looks tidy, and the stainless steel sliding mechanism that slides effortlessly for adjustments. Now let's get back back to the iPhone Air and check out the cameras. Apple made a really bold choice here by including only a single rear 48 megapixel fusion camera, which means no ultra-wide, macro, or telephoto options. Although you still get a 2x optical quality zoom thanks to that fusion camera. But don't get me wrong, the iPhone Air can take stunning photos. Sure, it loses at the ultra-wide and telephoto end, but if you're the type of person that just takes standard photos, the single fusion camera is all you need. In terms of video recording, you can shoot up to 4K 60 FPS. Subjects have the right amount of sharpness and the colors are just so balanced and natural looking, as you'd expect coming from an iPhone. Do note that 4K 120 FPS and log shooting is not supported. Now, moving to the front, you get a new 18 megapixel selfie camera with center stage support, and now it's using a square sensor, which means you can go from taking portrait selfies to landscape selfies without ever needing to rotate the iPhone. I also really like how the camera can auto frame the shot if more people enter the frame, and the photos are some of the best I've ever seen from a front-facing camera. And by the way, another benefit of the square sensor is improved video stabilization, as you can see. So with the specs out of the way, what is it actually like using the iPhone Air on a day-to-day basis? Being such a thin and light phone, you really feel it, or should I say, don't feel it in your hands even after long hours. Coming from a 16 Pro with a small rig creator case and a Moth wallet, the iPhone Air literally feels like nothing in your hands. And my wrist has never felt better. I find myself reaching out to the iPhone more often now for scripting or watching videos instead of my MacBook, which was my preference before when I had a chunkier iPhone. Ergonomics aside, the display is also very good, even under the bright daylight. That's what 3000 nits of peak brightness gets you. During my testing, I managed to bring the iPhone with me to Thailand, and the battery life was a big concern for me because who wants a dead phone during the trip, right? But the iPhone Air held up surprisingly well, even when I take it out for a full day. And let's be real, most of us travel with a power bank or have easy access to a charger, so battery life isn't really a concern for me at all. So with that in mind, why would I want to carry a thick phone? Something to think about. Alright, let's talk pricing. The iPhone Air will retail for $999, and thankfully, the base storage across all the iPhone 17 lineup has been bumped up to 256GB, which honestly is very manageable, and if you ever need more, there's always iCloud. But back to the $999 price tag, it's $200 more expensive than the base model iPhone 17, which has some advantages such as an extra camera module and a bigger battery, to name a few. So it's not really looking that great in terms of value for the iPhone Air. But like I said at the start of the video, the iPhone Air is a masterpiece of engineering and quite literally a fashion statement. And that's difficult to put a value on. For me, the price is worth it. Not only does it look great, but it performs extremely well too. Alright, let's wrap things up. So should you get the iPhone Air? Well, it's not really a straightforward answer because for most people, they would probably be better off with the iPhone 17, and for the power users, definitely the 17 Pro or 17 Pro Max. The iPhone Air sits in between the iPhone 17 and 17 Pro models. I guess you could say that it's for people that want pro-level performance in a new form factor. Yeah, that sounds about right. So that's it for this video. I've had such a fun time over the last month using the iPhone Air, and I'll be definitely keeping this. I'll be heading to California next week to test out the 17 Pro Max, so stay tuned for that review in a few weeks. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys for the next one. Bye!